A very warm welcome to you. It's a pleasure as always to have you for company on this edition of Almond Finance and Wealth Report, your one-stop shop for all the latest happenings in the world of business. My name is Margaret Mary Osiobor. On the lineup this week, we go into our archives to bring you our no-holds-barred interview session with Honourable Olufemi Fakeye, Chairman House Committee on Insurance and Actuarial Matters, where he spoke on a wide range of issues affecting the insurance industry. Do take a listen.
People in the industry need to wake up. This country, it's such a huge market. I don't think the insurance people are able to exploit what is available to them in terms of potential. So that's why I always say the industry is more or less a sleeping giant.
Plus, on this edition also, we'll bring you highlights of the 2018 Economic Outlook Conference recently organized by Business Day newspapers at the Wheatbaker Hotel, Ikoyi, Lagos. This year's theme was Navigating from Recovery to Growth. The annual event brings together economists, policymakers, and the organized private sector together to analyze the economic landscape every year.
What point are we making when we are borrowing to fund subsidies? They're subsidizing PMS. You don't have the political courage to take away the subsidies. You are subsidizing tariff for electricity. And in the past 2 years, they have created a $2.5 billion liquidity gap in the electricity sector. The sector has almost collapsed.
Plus, of course, all the other extras we bring you each week on this program. So sit back, relax, and enjoy it. Details in just a moment. Please stay with us.
All right, welcome back. On the set of our one today, we have the honor and privilege to be sitting one-on-one with Honourable Olufemi Fakeye, who is Chairman House Committee on Insurance and Actuarial Matters. Together, we'll be looking at challenges facing insurance growth and penetration in Nigeria. Thank you so very much, Honourable, for joining us. Thank you so very much. Okay, I'm going to start off. I do know that you were in the US for a very long time. Have you had the personal experience with the insurance industry as a customer or as a client, as some would say, here? And if you compare that experience with maybe the one you've had in the US, what would you say?
I don't know that there's any basis for comparison, because in the US we are talking about a very mature industry in a very mature economy. Here you have the exact opposite. In the US, people are well aware of the advantages of insurance to them, not just life, not just health, even their auto, their vehicles. They know it's very important to them because they go to work and live with this or by these vehicles. But here, I'm not even so sure how many people insure their vehicles, unless you are talking about third-party insurance, which I'm even aware most of these certificates are fake. Because people are thinking, oh, it's hard enough for me keeping my family together. So insurance is basically not that critical to them. But I think it's a matter of time, and that could change. There are many areas of insurance that don't get attention here. Okay, I mean, you have real estate insurance, you have property insurance. So when things get tight, it's the nature of finance and the human mind. When tough times come, when they come, you basically begin to reprioritize based upon the money you have available. I'm aware that most households, the first thing they throw out is insurance. Oh, I take my chances. But the thing is, what happened? The question is, in insurance, what do I insure? What is my option? What option do I have in the event I suffer a loss on this car or on this asset? Am I going to be in a position to reinstate? So, and the answer is no. If the answer is no to you, then you owe it to yourself to do something about it, because you're going to find out in the end that insurance is always cost effective.
Okay, sir. Now, speaking about that, oftentimes you hear operators of the insurance industry in Nigeria, they tell you that, oh, insurance is alien to our culture. Nigerians are so poor, they can't even afford to put bread on their table, so insurance is not important to them. is that, would you say that is really the case why insurance penetration is so low in
No,
Nigeria?
I don't think so. I don't think it's alien. Okay, I was born here, and I wasn't born yesterday. I haven't heard stories told to me by my grandparents or my parents that, oh, insurance is stupid, or it's a taboo here. I think people just have to change the way they think. Okay, and I think it also has to do with what the industry practitioners have been doing, that they've been doing enough. That's no way you educate me about what is good for me, and I'll say, that is a taboo. I won't do it. For instance, if you came to me as a very well-trained insurance agent, maybe a salesman or whatever, sir, I like your house. Oh, thank you, madam. Oh, and then before I know it, you go into, oh, by the way, if this house were to have a fire incident or accident tomorrow, how would you feel about that? That will strike a nerve in me.
Yeah, Honourable, it will strike, but often with most people, most Nigerians will say, oh, it's not my portion. We're so used to
Fine.
this.
They can sermonize all they want.
Yeah.
They can just throw away against the church or the mosque. No, things do happen. The question is, when they do happen, what do you do? What's your fallback position? So I think it's now for me to really get the insurance industry people themselves to do more in sensitizing people to the need for them to buy insurance. Oh, if you say, oh, life insurance, oh, I take my chances, fine. Hey, guess what? You may have a life insurance policy when you are 20, which means for the next 80 years of your life, because basically insurance is for 100 years, yes. Okay? You may not even die past your 100, fine. But the question is, what if? If I die at 69, my family, what do they get? What do I leave behind for them? I think it's a function that is, I like to see the industry people do more to, change the mindset of the people, kill the taboo mentality or the taboo syndrome or the thought that is alien. No good thinking person will say a very good decision in finance that protects you and your household and your family, nobody will think it's alien.
Okay, so moving on, would you say that maybe education and lack of awareness is the biggest challenge facing the insurance industry in Nigeria?
I mean, if you will, yeah. Plus the culture, what people have come to experience, and what they think, but their perception of the industry. I think, without throwing any figures at you, I know the little penetration that we have, the penetration is so low.
Less than 1%.
0.3, 0.4, 0.5, depending on which literature you are reviewing. Whatever it is, I can tell you, whatever penetration that we have is mostly on auto. It's mostly on auto. Maybe then a little bit of life and all that. First of all, the industry has lost health insurance to the National Health Insurance Scheme. They have lost retirement to PENCOM. Okay, so who is not going to be the one to defend the theory that, oh, insurance is alien? If it was so alien, why is PENCOM thriving? For retirement.
Okay, but another
question. Alien, let me land.
Okay,
if it was so alien, why is the health insurance scheme bubbling? So it was a matter of, number one, education, like you said, perception. If I have had a very bad experience in my auto insurance, okay. I had a claim, either I was shortchanged in terms of how much I got as payout, or the timing, the delay in getting that thing. So chances are, when you are discussing the insurance of any other asset, what I went through in my little auto experience, the claims experience, it would affect me. I said, look, I beg, I've not even I'm not happy about my auto insurance. You are not asking to insure this house with them. That's it. I think we need to have this change of paradigm, and it cuts both ways. But I think to the extent that the industry is the one that wants to grow, then they have to do more to sell their products, to market themselves, to convince me that yes, I have nothing to lose but my ignorance after listening to them.
Okay, sir, I want to take you a little bit back to what you just said. When pension was with the insurance industry. They didn't thrive this much. When health insurance was under them, they didn't thrive this much. Then
that's my point.
All of a sudden...
So that puts a question mark to the theory of this alien, whatever. That's not alien. It's about not enough focus, not enough attention. Now, question for you is this. Am I saying, or would you suggest, therefore, that we begin to have a commission for this? Commission? No. The industry needs to wake up and salvage whatever is left over. Right now, the industry is still into marine life or to another. That is enough to keep them busy. But they need to do more. For instance, you buy a car today, let's say 10 million naira. No, let me refocus that. I bought a car a year ago, 10 million naira. Fast forward, today is the anniversary of that purchase. So my car is 1 year old today. Now, question is this: you are laughing.
Already.
If I was going to, if there was an accident on that car 2 weeks ago, and I wanted it replaced, let's say it was totaled, meaning it was written off. Oh, insurance is very happy with me, they like me, blah blah. What's the best they can do for me? What's the maximum that they will give me without any deductions at all? 10 million.
10 million.
But there will be deductions, right?
Yes.
But I assume there were none. So they give me a check for what, 10 million naira. Now, question: what can I get 10 million to replace that car today?
No.
Heck no. All right, so if I know that and I'm an insurance salesperson, then I need to really say, if I could just find a way to convince more and more Nigerians as to the reasonability, the common sense in spending their naira to insure that which they own. So, if, for instance, I have to spend $500,000 naira to insure that car, I would have thought it was money well spent, because suddenly, if the car was to have been written off without any insurance, I would have lost 10 million naira as at the cost of buying the vehicle. But today's replacement is what? Maybe it's even 15, maybe it's 17. So there's going to be value added when you buy insurance, but the industry people need to, one, delay claims. They need to know that delay claims discourage people. It's a bad experience to them. Oh, also, maybe when they are shortchanged in terms of working out what is due to them, they don't feel good about it. So it's like, that's it. I think I'll just take my chances. People in the industry need to wake up. This country, it's such a huge market. I don't think the insurance people are able to exploit what is available to them in terms of potential. So that's why I always say the industry is more or less a sleeping giant. But it takes time. But I think with time, with more activity by the industry practitioners, we are going to really get moving.
Okay, sir. Before we really run off, I want to focus a little bit on the compulsory insurances. You find that the third-party motor vehicle insurance, for example, is made compulsory by law. But most Nigerians don't even know that to start with. Then those some that know, they find it easier to buy the ones that are fake for 1,500 or 2,000 or even less than that in most cases. Then we also have the compulsory insurance on building under construction.
Yeah.
But enforcement has always been the biggest challenge.
Yes.
So as a chairman of the House Committee on Insurance and Actuarial Matters, what is your committee going to do about that or looking at that direction?
Thank you. Let me address the 2 points. I'll discuss the auto first. Third-party insurance. People are able to get away with anything, they will keep doing it. You asked me earlier on, what are the differences that I saw in insurance here versus America? Well, in America, nobody will sell you anything fake because they know it will be discovered. Nothing is so manual there anymore, everything is electronic. So even when the policeman stops you and says, where is your insurance? He doesn't have to ask for your paper. On his system in his car, in the police patrol car, your vehicle particulars are already in there.
Can we get
so
that?
Of course, if you keep working at it, you will get there. But here, you have everything manual. So people can give you some mumu paper. So that's my insurance certificate. Because all they want is like, just escape you and keep moving. So the industry has to work closely with all the government stakeholders, road safety, police, to ensure that no matter how long it will take, they have to ensure that we go into this electronic coordination of the insurance particulars. Then and only then you will find that these incidents of fake papers will reduce. Because if I know that my paper is fake and the chances are they will catch me compounding my problem, I would have doubled my wahala. Fake paper and then
police problem,
then I go to court. I'll say, it's not worth it.
Alright, welcome back. Moving on now, we bring you highlights of the 2018 Economic Outlook Conference, which took place recently at the Wheatbaker Hotel, Ikoyi, Lagos. Amongst the guest speakers were Mr. Bismarck Ruane, the Managing Director and CEO of Financial Derivatives, Dr. Yemi Kale, a statistician at the General National Bureau of Statistics, and a host of others. Enjoy it.
The annual Business Day Economic Outlook Conference is a platform for stakeholders to share thoughts on how to move the economy forward. The 2018 edition with the theme, Navigating from Recovery to Growth, was recently held at the Wheatbaker Hotel, Ikoyi. It once again provided an opportunity for economists, policymakers to discuss and provide plausible options for navigating these dual growth economic pathways in 2018. Delivering his keynote address, the special guest of honor, Dr. Kechuku Enelama, Honourable Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, said that the Economic Council is to partner with the private sector on initiatives to ease business operations.
There are many stubborn issues to do with industry and manufacturing and production. But I would argue that the best way to do it is to partner with the private sector, both in the understanding of the problems, in the conceptualization or the coming up with solutions, and the actual implementation. And that's really what this Industrial Council is about. The good news is that it's off to an excellent start. I couldn't have wished for a better start. I mean, we started about 6 months ago. I think we've met again every month. There is a lot of enthusiasm from the private sector. If anything, more people want to join the council, but the point we always make is that the council is merely the body that brings it together. A lot of the work needs to happen outside the council anyway. And what we've done in the last 6 months is to identify a number of initiatives that are some of the most pressing for industry, and then to come up with a plan to implement them. And those initiatives we identified are up to 49. In the interest of time, I won't go into them. Let me just say that in identifying them, we had to break into 5 subgroups. There was a group on policy, dealing with issues around policy. There was a group on financing, issues around funding and financing and long-term financing. There was a group on vocational training and skills acquisition, a group on trade and market access, and a group on critical infrastructure, arguably the most important. And then they came up with initiatives, and these were all led by leaders in business as well as ministers in government and very senior government officials. So there's every reason to believe, and there's again strong support from the presidency, from the cabinet, from the government. I really wish that we will be an implementation-minded, oriented government, and that's really what I want. It's not so much that you did everything, but a few things you chose to do, that you actually got them done. And please challenge us if you think there are ways we can improve in our doing, because at times you know what the issues are, but it's just that it's still easier said than done. We can talk implementation all we like, but we have to implement for it to become reality.
Also speaking at the conference, Ms. Patience Oniha, Director General, Debt Management Office, DMO, stated that for businesses to survive, they need a combination of equities and debt borrowing.
The government borrows both for itself and also to provide opportunities for the private sector to borrow. Okay, so what did the DMO do this many years with the sovereign borrowing? So we're talking about sovereign borrowing. We of course tried to ensure that there was a domestic fixed income market. There really wasn't one years back. If you look at years before 2003, there wasn't really any. We had an equities market. We had treasury bills, but there wasn't really an active market. The truth is that for businesses, they need a combination of equity and debt for business. That is really the strategy everywhere. So if you don't have that component, if you don't have a debt capital market, it's almost like you don't have a complete market. We also had the money market. Let me not take that away. We had an active interbank money market, an equities market, but we really never had a debt capital market. And that market is important, not only for the government, but also for corporates. So what we're able to achieve was sort of facilitate the creation of a debt capital market. And we had people here like Coco, the CEO of FMDQ OTC, who, have taken it to a higher level where we now have, a securities exchange that is almost entirely focused on debt capital markets. And that has become very useful for us because I believe many people here, as well as the international community, they don't need to talk to us if they're looking for what are bond prices, what are bond yields, what were the rates 2 weeks ago, the auction rates. They simply go there and they can access it, analyze it, and that helps them to make an investment decision.
The National Bureau of Statistics, NBS, will soon release the country's overall GDP growth figures in 2017. The data will confirm Nigeria's exit from recession in the third quarter of 2017 when the economy grew by 1.40%. In his presentation, Dr. Yemi Kale, Statistician General of the Federation, said that although agriculture employs 48% of the workforce and contributes more to the GDP, productivity in terms of employees' wages is abysmally low. Delivering his paper on the theme, the guest speaker, Mr. Bismarck Rwani, Managing Director, Financial Derivatives Company Limited, gave an overview of what to expect in the economy this year.
GDP growth 2.2% in 2018 compared to 2.6% population growth. Growth projections are based on oil. Pre-election spending and further depletion of naira will add to inflationary pressures. Political deadlock will stifle economic activity and delay business-friendly reforms because of the National Assembly deadlock. Stock market rally, initial earnings before a major correction. Be careful. Active portfolio managers and those who know what they're doing will make money, but amateurs are going to lose their shirts. Many stocks are overpriced. Treasury bill rates will continue to trend downwards. CBN will not reduce CRR for now. Multiple exchange rates will persist with no convergence, and the external reserves will get to $42 billion before coming down. The federal government will continue to pay subsidies, will announce aggressive salary program for segments of the rail network. APC will prepare to defend their mandate. Internal squabbling will put the party in an awkward position. New board members will be sworn in. Some ministers will quit to contest as governors.
The high points of the annual economic outlook is a panel discussion. Panelists this year were Mr. Austin Avuru, Chief Executive Officer, Surplus Petroleum Development Company PLC, Mr. Okoyemi Agbaje, Managing Director, RTC Advisory Services Limited, Mr. Taiwo Keowo, DMD FBN Kest Merchant Bank, Mr. Bola Onodele Koko, Managing Director, FMDDQ OTC Securities Exchange, Dr. Kechuku Enelama, Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Dr. Yemi Kale, Statistician General of the Federation, Ms. Patience Oniha, DG DMO, and Bismarck Rwani. Moderator was Mr. Frank Aibogo. In his submission, Mr. Bola Onodele Koko said that the Nigerian economy can never thrive on fixed exchange rate.
This economy will never thrive on fixed exchange rate. Never ever. And by now we should have learned the lessons. We've just started a new regime. I mean, now we have windows. In the past we had auction systems. Now we have windows. The question most foreign portfolio investors ask me is the sustainability of the R&E FX window. Everybody is still worried, and that speaks to the fragility that was mentioned earlier by one of the speakers, where there is no, certainty of policy, integrity of regulation, the legal framework. We can't unlock. I mean, a case in point is the housing ecosystem in this country. We need to really disrupt that for capital to come in. If you do not have the laws on foreclosure, the laws on eviction, and when you have arguments with people, they're quick to tell you, oh, why do you want to foreclose one or two people that cannot pay mortgages? But you are losing sight of the capital that could come into this country to bolster and galvanize the housing development, deliver homes to Nigerians, affordable homes in so many different ways.
Although it is just 2 months into 2018 and the economic data is already exciting given the fact that the World Bank has forecast a 2.5% growth of the economy. the risk still remains as the oil prices are retreating and politics is beginning to overshadow economics in policy making. Many believe that all these will have implications on the country's economic turnout this year.
And that is our time of the program this week. Many thanks for being a part of it. Would love to hear from you, so feel free as always to connect with us on all our social media platforms. Good news! Almond Finance and Wealth Report is now the official West African media partner of the 13th World Takaful Conference, taking place at the Dusitani Hotel, Dubai, UAE on the 9th and 10th of April 2018. You can be a part of it. All you need to do is visit our website at www.almondfinancereports.com, use the code ALMD15 to register, and you'd get a 15% discount. Now, just as we promised last year, our free Pidgin English newspaper, Waiting Insurance They Do Serve, now comes translated in Yoruba. The February edition is out, so go get your free copy. You can also advertise in it to get your products and services to millions of Nigerians nationwide. My name is Margaret Mary Osiobor. Once again, thank you for joining us this week. Until next week, bye-bye.